Safely through 4-0 in the end. Overall thoughts on the game?
I think overall a lot of credit to Tuffley. We knew that their threats were before they came and they imposed themselves on us. I think we really struggled to impose any intensity or relentlessness and the things that the lads do sort of week in, week out. So credit to Tuffley in terms of the way they approach the game. In terms of us, I think it's more when you walk in the dressing room, you see the expression on some of our players' faces. They're disappointed, which is strange when winning 4-0. But I think there's some disappointment in the way that they maybe went about the game in terms of sort of in possession. But ultimately, we stressed the importance of practicing certain things and certain behaviours, and they came out in the way that we defended at times, which was great. Using a set piece to sort of get a foothold in the game is really important. So overall thoughts, credit to Tuffley, made it very difficult for us. But on the flip reverse, there's some sort of disappointed players that feel like they could have done more and should have done more. But naturally through to the second round and a 4-0 at home is a good result in the end.
Yeah, it's the first time Tuffley got through to the first round. They obviously caused an upset in the previous round, beat Torquay, so they were going to be up for it tonight. And it's quite a strange situation that you've got a few of your lads on loan with their first team. Yeah,
very much so. We have a great relationship with Tuffley, one of our sort of feeder partner clubs. So, when the draw came through, it's always that. It was nice because it was people you knew, but also we knew it would be a difficult test. So they're great in terms of the partnership that we have. But yeah, a lot of credit to Tuffley. They had a good run to get into the competition. We were probably in a rare situation where normally Cheltenham may be the underdogs or our 18s are the underdogs. So to almost be the pressure on us, to the expectation that we should be better and play in a certain way because of the academy. I think credit to Tuffley that they made sure that wasn't the case and made it difficult for us. So yeah, no, good run from them. And yeah, we're just happy that we managed to get through using sort of some fundamentals and basics and a bit of relentlessness towards the end.
Yeah, hopefully Zach Guinan won't always be known as Steve's son, but obviously a lot of Cheltenham fans will see the name and smile because of the memories of his dad playing for the club. So how's he coming on? Because he obviously scored the important first one from the set piece. He's quite a big lad now, isn't he? He's grown up and he looks like he can handle the physical challenge now.
Yeah, Zach's been doing really well. I think he's on 16 goals so far, which is, we talk about the importance of numbers to your name. He'll be one of the ones where he'll say that he wasn't happy with his performance tonight, but ultimately he still nicked in with a goal, and that's ultimately what a centre forward's job is. So, he got his goal. That keeps on his goal a game ratio, which is a fantastic ratio to have no matter what level you're playing at. And he is very much coming into his own. He is still growing into his body, but he's more than just a target centre forward. He can work on the opposites and do things that we want him to do to be more of a threat than just a target man. But it's credit to all the players. They're all trying to be stretched in different ways. We're trying to really progress them in terms of their in possession in the way that they try and dominate and dictate games. Unfortunately tonight that wasn't the case, but they were able to rely on their behaviours and hard work to get the clinical moments, and when they got their opportunity in front of goal they were able to take them.
Yeah, 2 for Felix Miles, who has recently gone to Tuffley, hasn't he? And he's been on the bench for the first team in the trophy this season, so is he another one that probably came out with a bit of credit for the way he took the goals and kept going? Yeah,
very much so. I mean, again, numbers to his name, that's 2 goals. Tuffley is his first loan. Our loan model is really important in terms of our players' development, and it's really important they get that exposure to men's football. So it's always great to get them back into the environment and see how they get on against their peers or different challenges. Tuffley posed a completely different challenge to what we're used to. So loads of sort of learning points from that. But yeah, Felix has done really well training with the first team. Again, it's credit to the first team management in the pathway we have, where regularly 3 or 4 over training with the first team every week, and players are getting opportunities. You look at the academy products that are now in the first team and in around it. Obviously George Lloyd, Grant, Callum Eubanks, Tom Chamberlain. Players are being shown that they're getting an opportunity. So it's really important that on nights like tonight they try and impact the game. But again, some of them won't be happy with how they overall played, but numbers to his name, that he'll be happy with that.
Yeah, had a great time in this competition last year, upsetting Portsmouth 8-4, I think it was. An unbelievable game, and then pushed Arsenal all the way in the next round. So you're going to go to Exeter or Plymouth now in the next round. Like you said, you probably will be the underdogs, won't you, going there? Whereas tonight you would have been expected to win it.
Yeah, I mean, it's always a difficult one when you play another Cat 3. Obviously, our programme is completely different, where on a Saturday our youth team isn't our, what would be perceived strongest youth team in terms of scholars, because they're either out playing men's football or elsewhere. So it would be good to go against either Plymouth or Exeter with what would be maybe perceived as our more strongest scholarship team. It's great tonight. We've got 3 under-16s on the bench who've all played week in, week out for the under-18s. So competition's high for places sort of throughout the academy pathway. But yeah, it'd be great to go to either Plymouth or Exeter to see where we're at in terms of that competitive cup game. We've played Plymouth and Exeter in the league, so I think we'll have a good idea of what they're about. It might be slightly different for us in terms of personnel that's available on the day. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see when the game happens, obviously, with the impending lockdown.
Yeah. And Callum Ebanks, just to clarify, I don't think he can play in league games anymore, can he? 'Cause he's gone pro, but he can, if fit, play in the FA Youth Cup. Is that right?
So Callum can still play in all youth team fixtures. So he's still under that age bracket, so he can still do that. But he's still recovering from his knee injury, so it's really important that we get that right. As always, players are given a lot more time at this club now, which is great, so there's no need to rush him or any other player. You know, when the time is right to go into whichever games programme, whether that's loan, first team, whatever that might be, I'm sure the right decision will be made.
Just finally, Pete, Michael Duff and Mickey Moore both here watching tonight, and how much do you and Antoine speak to them, and do they demand certain things, do they want things done a certain way, and Tim Bell as well in his role to make sure everything is done consistently throughout the club? Yeah,
we're very fortunate. The manager has a massive open door policy. Mickey is in all the time, so we can always go in. Maybe sometimes we're a bit of a nuisance because we're always sticking our head around the door, but it's great as an open pathway of communication. The manager's been very honest around, you know, his expectations of players, the fundamentals, and that sort of built a lot of the work that we're trying to get into the players, so they have those basic habits and behaviours that are really important, both on and off the pitch. So we're very fortunate there's that open line of communication. You know, the manager talks about brutal honesty, he's brutally honest with us and all the youth players at where they're at, and that's really important for their development. So players always know where we're at, we know where we're at, and it's really important that that relationship stays as strong as it is, because hopefully we see more and more players getting the opportunity. But as we always say, players will be given the opportunity, and then ultimately it's down to them to take that opportunity. So we'll just keep preparing them as best we can for that opportunity, and then fingers crossed they're able to take it.